earlier, we reported on what Barack Obama said earlier today in Missouri. He's already moving on to Missouri, one of the battleground states for the fall. He's making it clear that in a contest against John McCain would represent what? But 4 more years of George Bush. Listen to this.
His only answer to the problems created by George Bush's policies is give them another 4 years to fail. Just look at where he stands, and you'll see that a vote for John McCain is a vote for George Bush's 3rd term.
Now, John McCain is obviously disagreeing with that. In fact, he's made a major effort over these past several days to distance himself from George Bush, especially on the issue of global warming. Listen to John McCain.
It isn't a recent disagreement. Beginning in 2002, I believe it was, or 2003, I held hearings as chairman of the Commerce Committee, and I took great exception to the testimony by administration officials on this issue. So there's a long-standing, significant, deep, and strong difference on this issue between myself and the administration.
Dana Bash covers the McCain campaign. Dana, how assertively, how aggressively is McCain now trying to walk away from George Bush?
Well, he's doing it on the issues where it's abundantly clear that he can, like what you just heard from John McCain here in Washington just a few hours ago. He was asked by a reporter about climate change, and you heard his answer. I mean, he really jumped at the chance to make it clear, not just that he is very different from President Bush now on climate change, but from his perspective, he has been for years and years. And the fact that he, as Commerce Committee chairman, wanted to make the point to some of the Bush administration officials who came before him that he thought that they were dead wrong when it comes to this issue that really he hopes will help him, especially in places like the Pacific Northwest where I am, with independent voters, swing voters. So, you know, he is definitely taking the opportunity where he sees fit to differentiate himself with the president and do it in a very stark way, as you just heard in that soundbite. But, you know, it's a little bit schizophrenic, Wolf, because at the same time, they understand that there are some issues where it will benefit John McCain, particularly with those conservatives he still is trying to appeal to say that he's not that different from the president. Like, for example, last week, the speech that he gave on judges. He said he was going to appoint the same kinds of judges that President Bush put, justices, I should say, that President Bush put on the Supreme Court. Bottom line is, they hear Barack Obama every day on the campaign trail. They see the press releases from the Democratic National Committee. They know it doesn't take a rocket science to know the fundamental way that the Democrats are going to run against John McCain as somebody who is going to bring a 3rd Bush term. So they do see that there are legitimate, from their perspective, ways to differentiate himself from President Bush. Just like you heard today, they're going to use every chance they get to show it.
In his stump speech, Dana, is he singling out Barack Obama as his likely opponent, or is he lumping the two of them, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, together?
You know, for the most part, he is, when he sort of talks generally about the Democrats, he will say either of my opponents. For example, today on the issue of climate change, he said that he has been much more of a long-standing supporter of new ways to find different energy, much more, he said, than either of his potential opponents. But when you look at the strategy, when you hear John McCain single out either of the candidates, it is always Barack Obama. They have been planning on that and working towards a Barack Obama matchup for some time, really for months, and that has been abundantly clear in John McCain's rhetoric for some time. And absolutely behind the scenes now, you can bet, you know, that the kind of strategy that they are working on towards the general election is to run against Barack Obama. There's no question about that, Will.
All right, Dana, thanks very much. Dana Bash is in North Bend, Washington, in Washington State.